Okay, so back to testing. It's not like with the big kids too. A lot of their testing is something they can do on the computer. Like they do something called map testing, and so the whole class does it at once, and it's fun. That's not happening in kindergarten, and so it's frustrating because you feel like, okay, right now I just need to be with the kids. I need to teach them how to line up. I need to teach them where to get a sharpened pencil. I need to teach them what to do when they need to use restroom. I need to teach them just like sort of basic rules about school. One of the big things I have to teach in kindergarten is that when you're at school, it's different than being at home. And I say, I know that, when you're at home with your mom and dad, it's like, maybe 4 people, 5 people are there, and you talk when you want, and that's great. But I said, we have 17 people, and I'm the only adult. What would happen if we all did that? Well, nobody would get hurt. And so I try to explain it from that perspective, and I tell them, what you have to say is really important, and I want to make sure I'm being a good listener when you tell me something. And so I have to teach them not to interrupt constantly. Like if some kid is talking to me and somebody else comes up and just blah, 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 like no. Who am I having a conversation with right now? And then I'll talk to you in a minute. Just let me finish. And so that's a really hard thing. I mean, still, it's in kindergarten, and there's so much better about it. And that's just a developmental thing for sure. That's fine. But it's just one of those important things that you need to teach. It's that in certain situations, sort of the social norms are a little bit different. Like if you're at church, you're not really talking to the preacher as he's preaching or she's preaching. It's a little different. So, one thing also that was so hard this year is I think a lot of kids were stuck for a year and a half they were at home with mom and dad while they were working, and because a lot of people worked from home during the pandemic, and they kind of, I think, were stuck on an iPad a lot, just playing games and stuff, which, hey, you know what? I get it. Totally get it. I'm not faulting anybody, but what happened is, so we start the school year, I think I had 7 or 8 computers in my class, Chromebooks, and they had to take them all away. I don't know if they'd expired or and there's some licensing. I don't know. There was a Chromebook shortage. So then we had, I think I got 3 computers. Well, if I have 3 Chromebooks, I can't even make a station out of that. I can do it if I have 2 people in a station, but if I have 4 people, I can't even do that. So these kids, it's almost like they were detoxing from computers and iPads in my class. It's like, oh, okay, I've been used to being able to play games and do all this and do whatever I want, and now all that's gone, and I'm gonna be here for 6 hours a day with Miss Hatfield and the other kids. And so that was really, really hard. I definitely saw that more than I had seen in previous years. And so I taught kindergarten several years. This is my 22nd year to teach, and I think 10 or 11 of those years I need to sit down and add it up were kindergarten. So kindergarten's the one that actually did the most stuff. And I've done 9 years of first grade, and I've done 3 years of second. I don't know what it is. I do know I've done 3 years of second, 9 years of first. That's 12. But anyway, so I also 1 year pre-K. That was the hardest year ever. So it's been a rough year. And so when I hear that teachers are leaving the profession, I think what I feel is I can see why, because what I don't want to happen is that certain behaviors are normalized, like a kid hitting you and kicking you and pinching you and yelling no to you, and just, I don't want that expectation to be, well, the teacher's going to put up with that. No, we need to get systems in place. We need to get programs in place to address those issues and to help those kids. The bottom line, we're here for the kids. And so how are we helping helping them if we just are teaching them that that's okay, you can get away with that. We're not. We're not helping them in any way. And we're certainly not helping the other students who are being deprived of a good education because their teacher is putting out fires all day. And moreover, the teacher is not feeling like she's in a safe environment and can therefore transfer that feeling of safety onto her kids. Because when you put teachers in a position where they don't feel safe, whether they don't mean to, but I think the kids understand that and they don't feel safe either. So I think if parents really saw some of the things that kids get away with in class, they would be appalled. Appalled. I mean, I have to say that at the beginning of the year, if one of my boys was in that class, I would have requested to have my child removed. I don't want my kid to be in a place where there is another kid just tearing up a room, getting away with it, hitting the teacher. No, I don't want him to see those behaviors, and I certainly don't want him to think that's okay. But I also want his teacher to have time to teach. That's what we're here for. So, it's just, that's the hard thing. Nobody seems to have answers. It's like, oh, we're going to do this new social program, and, there's always that sort of thing. And, we don't need something where we give the gen ed teacher another program. If we think a kid has issues like autism or something, we need to address them, and we need to not be so nervous about saying that wrong thing to parents, because a lot of times the parents don't know because that might be their only child. And so in the context of what's normal, they don't know as well as you do because you're with that age group all day, every day. So anyway, I'll talk more.